Hi kids, and welcome to Disney Animation Reviews. I'm Josiah Melky.
And I'm Jordan Melky.
And we're here to talk Disney feature animation with you guys. Okay, today we're almost to the end of the Renaissance era. We've got 2 movies left in that era. This is the second to last. And today we are talking about Disney's 36th animated feature film, Mulan. Based off the story of the real Chinese ballad about a girl who may or may not have existed. It's folklore legend, but whatever. Anyway, the original idea was that they were going to do a short direct-to-video film with a different storyline, but ultimately they ended up turning it into the film it is today. Not much else on that. Mulan was released in the summer of 1998. Also during that year, Walt Disney World in Orlando opened their currently last theme park, their 4th one, Disney's Animal Kingdom. There were obviously live-action Disney films like The Parent Trap, the remake with Lindsay Lohan, and Disney and Pixar released their second feature film, A Bug's Life. Mulan and Bug's Life were both box office successes. Mulan's worldwide box office gross was about $304 million. With about $120 million coming in America. Although higher than the American grosses of Hunchback of Notre Dame and Hercules, and also better than Hercules at the worldwide box office, Mulan's box office success didn't match up to the box office successes of Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, or The Lion King, but it was still good nevertheless. It also got really good reviews, and Bug's Life also got really good reviews. It didn't quite make up Toy Story's box office success, but was still pretty good. Both Mulan and A Bug's Life were nominated for Best Score at the Academy Awards. Bug's Life is the one Pixar movie I think everybody tends to forget about, but it's actually pretty good, but that's another story. Today we're talking about Mulan. So, how do I rank Mulan in the Disney Renaissance era? It's hard to say. Having just come off of Hercules, which is a film that I think is personally underrated and deserves more credit, Mulan actually has, as one person said on their DVD review, everything that Mulan's got appears to make it a weak film, but it's actually a pretty strong film once you watch it. But we'll get into all that detail while we talk about Mulan, so let's talk about it. First off, the opening is probably the creepiest opening I've ever seen in a Disney animated feature film from this era.
Right, we start with the villain first.
Right, Shan Yu, the leader of the Huns, invading the Great Wall of China, and then the general goes to talk to the emperor, and the emperor tells him to round up some soldiers, men from each of the families in China, to become an army to protect China from the Huns.
After that, then we meet Mulan.
Right. A Chinese girl who's trying to fit in with her traditional Chinese society, but her meeting with the matchmaker at the beginning is a disaster.
Ooh. And then we get Mulan's traditional princess song, Reflection,
where she wants to be true to herself, but her family wants her to be something she's not, and it's a bit of a problem for her. When her father is summoned to fight for the Chinese army, Mulan knows he won't survive another war because he's injured from previous battles, so she steals her father's armor and cuts her hair short like a man's and joins the army in his place. And the story follows as she tries to bring honor to her family by helping save China.
And during that time, she gets help from the wisecracking dragon Mushu, voiced by the hilarious Eddie Murphy.
Yeah. We'll get to that later.
Okay.
But anyway, first off, let's talk about the character of Mulan. I actually really like her as a character. She's, I'm not really sure where she ranks in terms of the other Disney princesses, but unlike most of the girls who are teenagers, Mulan, although she is technically a teenager, she's on the verge of becoming a woman, and by the end of the film, by being true to herself, she actually becomes a woman by helping save China. But I like that nothing easy comes for her. Like, she has to use brains over brawn and think things through before she acts on them to be successful as a character.
So Mulan's like, what, 18-ish?
I think they said in the commentary she was like 16, but by the end of the film she's matured by becoming a hero and helping people. I also really like her relationship with Shine, the new captain of the army. Actually, if you think about it, the relationship between Mulan and Shine is the exact reversal of the relationship between Aladdin and Jasmine. Because when Aladdin and Jasmine first meet, it's love at first sight, and then when he starts trying to impress her by pretending to be Prince Ali, they start having problems and have to work them out. Mulan and Shine, it's the exact opposite. Mulan and Shine start out having problems at the beginning, but as the film goes on, they gradually progress toward having feelings for each other.
Mulan even says, and she tells him, what it's worth, I think that you're a great captain.
Pretty good voice cast. Similar to Pocahontas, where they had real-life Native Americans doing some of the voices, they got real Chinese people for some of the character voices in Mulan, but they also got real Japanese and Caucasians, like Harvey Fierstein, the voice of Yao, one of the soldiers, and Mr. Miyagi himself from Karate Kid, the late Pat Morita as the Emperor. They've also got voice talent like Ming Na as Mulan, BD Wong as Shine, and George Takei from Star Trek as the first Fa ancestor. Not to mention the late great voice actress June Foray as Mulan's grandma. Animation is pretty good. Similar to past animated Disney features where they've gone to places like Africa for Lion King or Paris for The Hunchback of Notre Dame, they actually went to China and studied it and sketched it to get the look right. I think really the only character that suffers in this movie, personality-wise, is our main villain, Shan Yu, the leader of the Huns. He is pure evil. There's no redeeming qualities about him. He's barely on screen. According to Disney Wiki, he's only on screen for like 6 minutes.
No villain song.
Yep, he doesn't even sing. He's just pure badness. Even Hades from Hercules was better than this guy.
Yep. I mean, Hades didn't have a villain song either.
But at least he had comic aspects. Shan Yu is just, But other than him, all the other characters are pretty good. Even supporting characters like Mulan's soldier friends have their moments. But yeah, Shan Yu is probably the only weak link as far as characters go. So let's talk about Mushu. For the vocal performance, they wanted somebody that was comedic, somewhere in the vein of Robin Williams as the genie in Aladdin, and that's where they came up with the idea of Eddie Murphy.
Now, Eddie is hilarious.
Yeah, at first, I read this online that originally Murphy didn't like the idea of recording at the Disney studio. They eventually got him at the studio to record some lines, but at first he wanted to record from at home in his basement in New Jersey. By Eddie Murphy, while most comic relief sidekicks don't help push the storyline, they're there to provide the necessary comic relief for the picture. Mushu actually has a bit of a story arc where he wants to become a Fa family guardian again, and that's why he helps Mulan out on her journey. Initially, he's just going to help himself, but eventually he comes to realize the error of his ways and becomes more selfless in the second half when he actually helps Mulan on her journey. Eddie Murphy is another one of the best comedians I have ever heard in an animated feature film. It's hard to decide who I like better, Mushu or Donkey, who Eddie later voiced in DreamWorks Shrek films, but they're both pretty good. Donkey's basically a carbon copy of Mushu, but...
Yeah, right. First you watch Mulan with Mushu, and you watch Shrek with Donkey, but it's the same actor, so it's basically the same character.
Right. But either way, Eddie Murphy's fantastic.
Yeah.
Let's see, filmmaker-wise, the directors on this movie are first-time directors, Barry Cook and Tony Bancroft. Barry was an effects animator at Disney for years, and had directing experience before on a couple of shorts, like the Roger Rabbit short Trail Mix-Up, but this was his first time directing a feature film, and the same goes for Tony Bancroft, who previously was a character animator at Disney. He was the supervising animator on Pumbaa and The Lion King, and later after Mulan was the supervising animator on Kronk in The Emperor's New Groove. Let's see, what else? The songs in Mulan are pretty good. This time, originally Steven Schwartz, after Pocahontas and Hunchback, was going to do the songs, but Jeffrey Katzenberg wanted him to do the songs for DreamWorks' The Prince of Egypt. So instead, the songs in Mulan are composed by Matthew Wilder and written by David Zippel, who had just finished writing the songs for Hercules. There are 5 songs. They were going to write a 6th song for Mushu. It was called Keep 'Em Guessing, but they deleted it after Eddie Murphy got cast in the role.
Oh.
My two favorite songs in Mulan are the train song, I'll Make a Man Out of You, led by Shane, whose singing voice is done by Donny Osmond from Andrew Lloyd Webber's Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. Donny Osmond had previously auditioned for the speaking role of Hercules, but was told he sounded too deep or something.
Oh.
But after he got the same voice as Shane, his sons claimed he had finally made it in
Show business?
In show business, right? When he got cast in a Disney cartoon. And then I also, be sure to stick around for the end credits, my other favorite song plays there. It's True to Your Heart, performed by 98 Degrees and Stevie Wonder.
Yeah, my favorite is obviously the princess song, Reflection.
Mulan is voiced by Ming-Na Wen, but her singing voice, you want to tell them who her singing voice is?
Yes, it's Leia Salonga, the singing voice of Jasmine in Aladdin.
Mm-hmm. Yep, there's also the opening song, Honor to Us All, and the song before the troops actually go to battle, A Girl Worth Fighting For. Mulan is actually the first animated Disney feature to primarily be produced at the old animation building at Disney's Hollywood Studios theme park at Walt Disney World in Orlando. So that's kind of cool. Overall, I definitely think Mulan is one of the stronger entries in the Disney Renaissance era.
I agree.
Check it out yourself. Mulan had a direct-to-video sequel, Mulan 2, in February 2005. Mulan and Shane are engaged to be married, but before that, they have to escort the Chinese Emperor's daughters to a kingdom so they can marry.
Ugh, the classical arranged marriage. Hate that!
Yep, but along the way, they fall in love with Mulan and Shane's soldier friends, and it creates conflict along the way. Most of the original voice cast came back, although some characters got recast. The big exception is Eddie Murphy didn't come back to voice Mushu.
Because he was working on Shrek 2 at the time?
And they wouldn't let him return for Mulan 2. So Mushu is voiced here by Mark Mosley, who's voiced him before in House of Mouse and the Kingdom Hearts video games, and he does a pretty good job, but it's just not the same without Eddie Murphy.
I agree.
Ironically enough, Mark Mosley also covers for Murphy as the video game voice of Donkey.
Oh.
Mulan also guest starred in the Sophia the First episode, Princesses to the Rescue, helping Sophia, her sister Amber, and their friend June save their fathers and brothers from the Jade Jaguar.
And Mulan, she wears her armor, making her one of the few princesses that doesn't wear her signature dress.
Yep,
and she gets a new song, Stronger Than You Know.
Not to mention a new gold sword, because remember, her dad's sword is silver in the movie. Very good. A live-action remake of Mulan is set for release in 2020, but that's a long time from now, so I can't give my thoughts on that just now.
And with the other princesses, Mulan's had to appear in Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Right. Mulan's latest home video release was its 50th anniversary edition Blu-ray 2 movie collection release in spring of 2013, where it was paired with Mulan 2, hence the 2 movie collection.
Right.
Bonus features include deleted scenes, audio commentary, music videos, and more, and Mulan 2's bonus features include deleted scenes, a music video, and a behind-the-scenes look at the voice talent of the film.
Oh.
That's our thoughts on Mulan. I'm not sure if I like it better or worse than Hercules, but it's definitely one of the top entries in the Disney animated features canon. Hey, it sure beats the heck out of Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yep.
Yeah. Couple of dark, violent scenes, but otherwise, it is definitely lighter than Hunchback, so definitely give this one a shot if you haven't already. Well, we're out of time for today, kids. Remember, when you wish upon a star, your dreams come true.
Goodbye!
Bye!